tallgrass prairie was breathtaking not only in its size and scope, 170 million acres covering most of the Midwest, but also its beauty. It supported a vast array of beautiful wildflowers and grasses that swayed like a multicolored ocean in the breeze. The colors and perfumed scents coming from those flowers had a transformative effect over the natural world. They were a hotbed, a universe of life for thousands of different species of insects, which in turn attracted birds and mammal predators. Little remains today of that original prairie, which was the size of Texas, but the remaining patches still hold sway over insects and grassland birds. One plant in particular, the milkweed, is unique in the amount of life that lives on and around it. Milkweed is an amazing planet of life within that prairie universe. With more than 450 known insects that eat or nectar on the common milkweed plant, it is truly king of the prairie. Many people know about the monarch butterfly and its dependence on milkweed. The heavily scented and nectar-laden flowers are a source of food and energy for the monarch and many other insects. Males often patrol around patches of milkweed, always on the lookout for a nectaring female. After coupling, the female flies off and lays eggs on milkweed leaves and flower buds. The caterpillars spend all their lives in a milkweed plant, eating and growing. There are 73 species of milkweed in North America, but many of them are rare and endangered. In the midsection of North America, only a handful of species can be commonly found. Those include common milkweed with its big flower heads, the more dainty swamp milkweed, also known as rose milkweed, the vibrant purple milkweed, the delicate-leaved world milkweed, butterfly milkweed with its distinctive orange flowers, prairie milkweed, the climbing honey vine, also known as blue vine, poke milkweed, often found in woodland openings, and green milkweed. Lots of butterflies besides monarchs are infatuated with milkweed. Find a patch of flowering milkweed and you are almost certain to find butterflies like this pair of eastern-tailed blues, along with a green metallic bee. Hang around and you might see the brilliant clouded sulfur or a mourning cloak. Red admirals are frequent visitors, as is the great spangled fritillary. The swallowtail family, like the tiger swallowtail, the eastern black swallowtail, and the giant swallowtail, make a spectacular sight as they flitter and float from one milkweed flower to another. Moths like this hawk moth are unheralded but very effective pollinators. Go outside at dusk or in the evening and you'll likely find moths in large numbers nectaring on milkweed. Bees are the everyday workhorses of pollination as they gather nectar and collect pollen on the fine hairs of their bodies. Tiny native bees, like the green metallic bee and the leafcutter bee, may be small in stature, but they play an outsized role in pollination. Bumblebees, the buzzy little bears of the bee world, are the most noticeable because of their size as they clamber over the flower heads in their quest for nectar. Even bee wannabes, like this dronefly, want to get in on the action. Perhaps the most plentiful residents of a milkweed plant are also among the smallest, the milkweed or oleander aphid. The aphid sucks the juices out of a milkweed plant and excretes a sweet, sticky liquid known as honeydew. Ants absolutely love the stuff. When you see ants on a milkweed plant, they're usually collecting nectar from the flowers or gathering the honeydew. In exchange for the honeydew, the ants protect the aphids from predators like ladybugs, ladybug larvae, Asian lady beetles, daddy longlegs, and more. Aphids are not the only insect that finds the leaves, flowers, and stems of milkweed to be tasty and a crucial ingredient for life. Two bugs with similar colorations and names live out much of their lives on milkweed plants. The milkweed bug with a flat body and the milkweed beetle with a rounder body and long antenna both consume flowers and leaves, and their red coloration serves as a warning to predators that they do not taste good. Grasshoppers and tussock moth caterpillars also consume milkweed leaves and create havoc in short order. That multitude of life on a milkweed plant provides opportunities for insect predators like the garden spider, which often builds its web on or around milkweed plants. Others, like the stink bug, patrol the leaves, always on the lookout for caterpillars. Stink bugs are one of the main predators of monarch caterpillars. The ferocious-looking assassin beetle also ranks high on the list of predators. Yet another top predator of helpless caterpillars is the tachinid fly, which injects its eggs into the victim, which dies when the larvae emerge. On the other hand, the tachinid can also find itself a victim, in this case, of the white crab spider. At the top of the insect food chain is the praying mantis, which can pick from any number of victims, from flies to beetles to bees. That vast carpet of insects in turn attracts birds. Most grassland birds are omnivores, eating seeds in the fall and winter, then switching to protein-rich insects during the breeding season. Unfortunately, with the decline of the tallgrass prairie habitat, the population of grassland birds is in sharp decline, along with nearly all species of butterflies and bees. Milkweed does not exist in a vacuum. It is part of a vast, intricately connected network of plants and animals. When the flowers of the milkweed fade and fall to the ground, insects switch to other sources for food and nectar. The migration of monarchs, for example, is timed to the blooming flowers of goldenrod and asters. Still, it is amazing the amount of life that depends on a milkweed for food, and sometimes even for sleep.